camera sorted here. This is part 2 of the video. These are, you're seeing holly leaves. What happened is that the camera overheats in the car and it shuts off the processor, and while it's doing live videos and doing all the calculations, it overheats, so I can't put the fan on in the car because it'll make a lot of noise. So I'm outside for part 2 of this Reverb video. So anyway, as I was saying, well, I expect evil is on the march, and expect something worse. Let me get a bit in your face here. Expect something worse might come. Hopefully it doesn't, but remember, this is the darkness before the dawn. This is the death screams of a dying deep state. You will notice the insanity, illness everywhere, and on social media among people. You know, anyone starts shit. If anyone starts shit on anyone else on the internet right now, you know you're dealing with a maniac. And the thing is to block them. Just block them, because they will eventually turn on you one day. This is because they're not in control of their own faculties. They're controlled by outside forces and different kinds of things like that, and they're not in charge of themselves, and therefore they're very dangerous to be around. They will turn on you in a heartbeat, just like they'll turn on anyone else. And that's important. That's very important to observe these people as they are right now. They'll be in the throat. The ones who are like screaming about Black Lives Matter now and stuff, like white people. You know, black people are allowed to talk about it, but not white, middle class, wealthy white people who never had a day of hardship in their life. Just stay away from them. They have nothing to do with them ever again. These are poison. These people are not there. They're meat golems. They're not there. You're not dealing with humans in a sense that they're consciousness and aware. They just react. And they do it for virtue signaling. Now, speaking of virtue signaling, there was a woman next to me in the post office this morning, and this is the first day in over a month I've had a police roadblock on the roads. I got stopped again today, and this woman with the gloves, the mask, the lot, and all she's talking about is second wave, second wave, second wave, and you can see she's absolutely loving it. Well, most people now are not wearing masks. So the ones wearing the masks now, it's purely a virtue. It's either hysteria, hypochondria, or pure virtual signaling. Now, Charlie Veitch and the Love Police are back for some reason, and he made a video in the centre of Manchester on this, and he was right, of course. But you know, Charlie Veitch, we all know what happened with him when he recanted on 9/11, the whole 9/11 thing. Now, the reason he did that is he was shilling for a mainstream job on the BBC. Probably someone on the BBC told him that he'd get a job with the BBC or somewhere if he played the game. He played the game and it blew up in his face. And what really happened to him was disgusting, actually. It was one of the things that made me see how the truth movement was an absolutely disgusting, a field filled of disgusting people. Just because he changed his mind on 9/11 didn't mean that some of the things that were said and written about him were absolutely disgusting, and they even attacked his baby child. This is the range these truthers are. And that's not because, that reaction was not because Charlie Veitch was an evil man and they had let all these people down, but it was because these dumbass truthers were looking for a Jesus Christ like they always are, and rather than face up the fact that they put all their hopes into another person, they attack the other person. That's, you know, that's the whole truth. I call them the meat truthers. They follow the truth thing, but they don't really have any, the alternative scene, but they don't really have any minds of their own still. They recently woke up. And that, you know, so, but he still was shilling for a BBC job. That's why he changed his mind then. But the things he said in the papers that like truthers are actually dangerous people, I agree with a lot of that. A lot of them are very dangerous people because they're mentally unhinged, a lot of them, and a lot of them are heavy pot users and weed smokers, weed users and cheap lager drinkers and things like that, and they're paranoid and unhinged and stuff like that. Not all of them, of course. I'm just saying a lot of them. Most of them are not, but a lot of those types have actually vanished. You'll see they'll come into alternative scene for a while. They'll become the most vigilant, hateful, vicious, smear campaigning, unhinged, toxic types. Everything is a false flag. Everything is a fucking conspiracy, and they will attack anyone who even suggests it's not in the most vicious way. They're just like born again Christians. They've just found their new church. Is all that's happened there. But this is the crux of the issue, that these people serve a purpose too. They are there to remind us that when things are going on. Remember the analogy I used, that the leaves that shimmer on the end, right, are the reverberations of a greater wickedness and evil that's taken place in the tree that they sit upon. Now, I'm not saying this Scots pine tree is evil, but I'm just saying that that's the analogy I'm using. Okay, I know some people have trouble with analogies, and I'm kind of glad I did this with the holly bush here, the holly leaves. It's very druidic. It's very. It feels very paganish. But yeah, so you know that's the solution. Return to nature. Return to creativity. The deep state is terrified right now. The deep state is in the shitter. The deep state is for the reasons I mentioned in video 1. The deep state is absolutely rattled right now because they're losing it. They're losing the battle. Just think about it. With all the arsenal at their hands, nearly all the mainstream college professors and third level education systems, nearly all the mass media, about 90% of it at least, nearly all the social media companies and the silicon tech companies, and even with all that, there are wonderful people like you guys who've actually managed to transcend it. You just think about that. You just think about what you were put up against and how you guys manage to not be affected by it. Does that not make you feel amazing? It should. Does that not show you that you're special, that you were put on this earth for a purpose greater than to fear death? I don't know what does. That's an amazing, amazing thing you've fallen into. You've been selected by evolution. You, the one I'm pointing to, and you. You have been selected by evolution to transcend the miasma of lies and insincerity and inauthentic behavior foisted upon us by the deep state. You just think about that. That's what you are. You are the harbingers of the second Renaissance. That's what you are, and it's amazing, and you should cherish it. But at the same time, too, you must use these skills you've developed to look for the reverberations of the perimeter evil emanating from the greater evil above there. And these are the Renfields, these are the toxic types who start shit online. These are the people who are always trying to drag you into things that are negative. These are the people who are always trying to make you join their grudges. These are the people who are Renfielding and reverberating what's happening in the greater scheme of things. Once you've identified them and you see what they're up to, get rid of them. Do not indulge them, because what you're doing is when I'm losing the it's blown away now. But what you do is when you indulge, you secure, you strengthen. The roots of the deep state go deeper. By annihilating and removing the toxic Renfields from the margins, you starve the deep state of nourishment, and the tree falls down, and the sun of a new consciousness flows into you. You just think about that. Not this tree is a good tree, but I'm just saying, that's an analogy. Just like this holly leaf. That's why my camera overheated. Now you want to prove that you live in a magic, poetic world. My camera overheated in that car for the simple reason that I could come out here and be grounded by the holly bush and have an absolute real analogy to show you. Now this is what it's all about. To see synchronicities, to look for psychic reverberations, to find archetypal pings on the radar of the consciousness sonar, and work your life accordingly. You don't predict the future, You become the future. You don't worry about the future. You create the future. And you always remember that. And don't let anything, don't, you look at your friends on YouTube and social media and Facebook, and you see them going nuts over what's happening in Minneapolis. Right, you've risen above it. Why? Because the deep state owns them and the deep state doesn't own you. Thank you.